Hey, it's your man Style Con coming at you today with another video, finishing up this baby. Actually, I broke out the Movado. Haven't worn this one in a long time, and it actually matches the sunglasses. You know, I try to be a little matchy-matchy with my things. But let's get into today's topic of discussion now. With this one, I don't want to come across as a Rolex hater, but I know sometimes I do. But it's not meant to be that way, because once again, I don't care. You buy what you like. I buy what I like. I have no animosity towards this brand at all. But this video, as usual, has been inspired by other YouTubers. And I've been checking out some YouTuber channels. They are, gray market dealers that deal with, say, Rolex. And they've come across like these super clones. And it's really hard to tell the difference between a real one and a fake one now. I mean, it's getting it's almost one for one now. Back in the day, StyleCon, I was considering a Rolex, but like I said, I'm just not a big fan of the brand. And I was looking into it, and there was this brand out of Switzerland, and I forget the name of it. You could probably check it out, do a Google search. But with that, they were making pretty much one-for-one clones. They actually would buy the Rolexes themselves, deconstruct them, put them on their CAD machines, and then get the CNC machines to produce the movements, the bracelets, the case. I mean, this thing, and it was a fraction of the cost. You're talking about $1,000 for something that's been completely replicated. So it can be done. But the problem is, now you have these dealers that are having issues, and, they can't tell the difference. But the biggest problem with all this is that Rolexes aren't special. Say, StyleCon, not special. No, not Rolex. No, they're not special. That's why it's so easy to replicate them. If you followed my channel for a while, I used to be. I'm not on the kick anymore, but I was a big Panerai fan. Panerai is another watch that's easy to clone. There's nothing special about this watch. If you wanted, and you had some CNC machines, you had your little CAD machine, you could just put the parts on it, scan it, and you can replicate it. And that's the deal with Rolex. It's nothing special. Now, I will say that 1908, that one's a little bit different because it is more complicated. They've done a little more work, with the dial and then the movement itself. Not saying that they won't replicate it, but it's not going to be as easy, and you're probably not going to get it for $1,000 or under that. It's probably going to cost more money. And what I like is, I like old Rolexes. Now, I will give them credit when they did real complications, when they did perpetual calendars, things like that, moon faces. That would be a lot harder to replicate. I'm not saying it can't be done, because it can be. But with a lot of people that replicate watches, they're in it for the short term. They don't want to put a lot of effort into it. And I hate to say this, back in the day, StyleCon used to be a sales rep. And there was a guy I used to work with. I'm not going to mention his name in case he watches this video, but he'll probably know it's him anyways. This guy used to put more effort into not doing work than he did into doing the work. I was like, you know what? As much effort as you put in to, not doing the right thing, if you just generate and channel that energy into doing the right thing, you'd be the baddest salesman this company ever had. And that's the thing with people that are replicating watches. They're not going for the most complicated watches that these brands are making. So make the movement more complicated. I mean, add some finishing work, it's just like, say, I like Glashütte Original, and they're what is that? They're German silver balance comp. You know how hard that would be to replicate. Not that you couldn't do it, but you may not be able to do it at a profitable level that would make sense to replicate it. And with that, Rolex and their movements, their cases, their bracelets. Now, don't get me wrong, they are bulletproof, they're a well-built watch, but they make it easy to replicate it. I'll use a car reference. say if in China they do reproduce some cars. Now let's put it this way: if they were going to make a replica of a Honda or Toyota, not a big deal, not that complicated. But if you wanted to do like a Pagani or a Bentley or a Rolls Royce with the leathers and the wood, that's going to be so much more complicated to replicate. Why do it? You're not going to be able to sell it at that profit level where you'd want it. And on that note, Rolex, if you don't want your watches replicated so much, do something different. Do something with the movement. Make the bracelet more elaborate. Do extension pieces. Do something where they're going to go, you know what? It's not worth replicating this watch anymore because we can't do it for $1,000. Now, we can do it, but now we got to do it for $5,000 or $6,000. It's like, well, now it's not worth it to do it. But that's Rolex's fault. And any watch brand out there, even my beloved Panerai, you have to do something with the movement, the bracelet, something that sets it apart, that says, we can't replicate this because it's going to cost us too much money. And on that note, thank you for taking the time out of your day to watch my video. As usual, if you have any questions or comments, you can leave some, and I will check you out in the next video.